Which NBA championship comes with the highest degree of difficulty? I believe it's the 1995 Houston Rockets and Hakeem Olajuwon. The team only finished with a 47-25 regular season record. In the first round, they faced the Utah Jazz with future Hall of Famers Karl Malone and John Stockton. It was apparent early on that Olajuwon was not going to let the Rockets lose. He went deep into his bag and was doing things that people had just simply never seen before offensively. This run was also one of the great defensive spectacles we've ever seen. Clyde Drexler and Otis Thorpe had been injured most of the season, and Olajuwon was doing this mostly on his own. In round 2, they dispatched of a 59-win Suns team that featured Charles Barkley, Thunder Dan Marley, KJ Kevin Johnson, as well as former number 1 pick Danny Manning. The Rockets were able to defeat the super talented Suns team in 7 games. Barkley and Olajuwon had a lot of legendary battles over the years. Barkley had just won the MVP in '93 but lost to Jordan in the finals. This was his opportunity with Jordan in retirement to win a title. Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, and Danny Manning were all in the prime of their careers. It was time, but it was all ruined by Hakeem. But the ultimate statement of these playoffs, and maybe the ultimate statement of Hakeem Olajuwon's career, came in the next round, when he would face the San Antonio Spurs and reigning league MVP David Robinson. The Spurs appeared to be the NBA's premier team at 62-20. They featured Dennis Rodman, heady point guard Avery Johnson, and wings Chuck Pearson and Sean Elliott. Robinson was in the absolute prime of his career and was looking for a title of his own. Well, Hakeem ended up having one of the greatest playoff series of all time. For the series against Robinson, the MVP, he averaged 35 points, 12.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.3 steals, and an absurd 4.2 blocks. He let Robinson know who the superior player was with a dazzling array of moves. Robinson is one of the greatest centers of all time, but he looked befuddled and had no idea what to do with Olajuwon. This was the premier matchup in the NBA at the time, and Olajuwon proved who the premier player was. The Rockets would ultimately win the series 4-2, and then they would move on to the NBA Finals to play the upstart Orlando Magic. They had superstar center Shaquille O'Neal and superstar point guard Penny Hardaway. The Magic were a deep team though, and the roster also boasted All-Stars Nick Anderson and Horace Grant, who won 3 titles with Jordan, Pippen, and the Bulls. But Shaquille O'Neal at this time was no match for Hakeem Olajuwon. The Rockets would win the series 4-0. Olajuwon would win MVP behind 32 points, 11.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. To recap, Houston beat 2 60-win teams and a 59-win team, including the MVP of the league, who was dominated on the way to the finals, in which Hakeem then destroyed Shaquille O'Neal on the way to a title. I always say that the 3 post players that are in a league all their own is Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin McHale, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But during this run, I've never seen anyone play the post as well as Hakeem did. He was doing absolutely everything. I think Hakeem gave all of himself during this playoff series as well, as he was never really the same again as a player. Olajuwon is in my top 10, and you may disagree, but during this playoff run, offensively, defensively, and intangibles made Hakeem the dream. This was the signature moment in the career of one of the NBA's all-time great players. Nobody ever criticizes the Houston Rockets for taking Hakeem Olajuwon instead of Michael Jordan. Please like and subscribe and follow me on TikTok at @andpemta. And thank you so much for watching Powerlifting News USA. Out.